Happening right now, an investigative hearing is currently ongoing to determine the cause of a Boeing plane door flying off last year. We'll give you the latest update.
And temperatures are a bit warmer for today as our overall trend continues to get warmer and warmer heading into this Hoop Fest weekend.
And drivers, here's some info you'll want. Washington State Patrol is expected to increase units along I-90, all thanks to some cell phone data. We have an exclusive interview with the Traffic Safety Commission to explain how this data is being used. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin here at the noon hour by checking on the weather outdoors. That's where we find meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, I thought this morning was about as beautiful as you can get. So what do you know for this afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon, Laura. And things are really shaping up to be pretty nice for today. A little bit on the warmer side, but still comfortably so as we hit the noon hour. So if you're just about to take your lunch break outdoors, certainly would recommend that. 76 degrees, our current temperature in both Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. You might be hearing a little bit of a breeze, but it is very gentle for today. So not expecting any kind of major weather impacts, but it will be noticeably warmer by this afternoon. A lot of low to mid 80s throughout the inland northwest and just maybe pushing 90 degrees for central Washington. Sky conditions are mostly sunny above my head. From my vantage point, you see a little bit of some high level cloud cover, but look at the clear and smokeless skies all throughout the Columbia Basin, and wanted to use the kind of the raw data here to really show you just how clear those conditions are at the moment. But our trend is generally uphill. We'll have a couple days in the 70s and 80s this week, but the 90s will definitely be on us and across the West Coast for this upcoming week. So we'll show you how that affects our Hoop Fest forecast, and which will be the hottest days overall.
All right, warmer weather is back. Also happening today, the National Transportation Safety Board is in a hearing to decide what caused the door panel of a Boeing plane to blow out midair. You may remember this story from last year. The hearing so far has revealed that the plane was delivered to Alaska Air by Boeing without the bolts needed to hold the door plug in place. The bolts would not have been inspected for another 2 years had the incident not occurred. Now, you may remember, again, this happened back in January of last year. The blowout left a hole in the side of the Boeing 737 MAX while it was more than 16,000 feet in the air. Crews actually found the door in a backyard in Oregon. This ceasefire deal that President Donald Trump announced between Israel and Iran seems to be off at this hour. Israel is accusing of Iran of violating it, which Iran denies. Israeli officials say Iran launched another wave of missiles this morning, killing several people and injuring someone in a suburban neighborhood. Iran said the launch may have happened ahead of the ceasefire and that it would pause strikes afterwards. And just now, President Trump told Israeli Prime Minister to not expect further American offensive action. This all comes as a big NATO summit is taking place this week, beginning today. And we have an update now on the search for Travis Decker. For the first time, investigators say there is a possibility that he is no longer alive. Now they are redirecting search resources to what they are calling recovery in central Washington. The Kittitas County Sheriff's Office, one of the agencies looking for him, sent out the press release. Decker is charged in the murder of his 3 young daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. Now, despite dozens of tips and leads, the Sheriff's Office says there is actually no clear evidence that Decker is alive or in the area. They say they are still looking for him and welcome any tips from the public. We'll continue to track that story, of course. Also, a new ordinance has been introduced by Spokane City Council members Paul Dillon and Lily Navarrete. It is called the Public Dollars for Public Benefit Ordinance, and it establishes an agreement between the city and work groups that it would ensure that local projects hire local people. KREM 2's Regan Gallo has more.
I'm standing outside the Spokane Convention Center, and supporters of this ordinance use this project as a key example. When the expansion happened, it had spending of up to $260 million in the local area, as well as 2,300 jobs in the area. So in future, for those projects, they want those jobs to go to Spokane's local workforce. The ordinance includes a priority hire provision designed to expand access to public works jobs for workers from low-income and underrepresented communities across Spokane. Councilman Paul Dillon emphasized that when Spokane taxpayers fund a project, that return on investment should benefit the local community. He stressed the need for greater transparency around how taxpayer dollars are spent on public projects.
And looking at our hiring process for public construction works, how we bid out to our contracts, making sure that we are looking at a diverse and local workforce when we are hiring for these projects.
A representative from the Carpenters 59 Union, Tony Edwards, says this ordinance also responds to concerns about construction contractors who underpay workers or fail to follow legal protocols. The ordinance includes protections to ensure workers receive fair compensation and have safe and legally compliant working conditions. The ordinance had its first reading today at the City of Spokane's Finance Committee meeting, and Councilman Dillon prepares to get more stakeholders involved to keep this ordinance moving forward. I'm reporting here in downtown Spokane, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.